Well, you have outsourced processing to vendors, subcontractors with a nice little agreement, maybe a detailed one. Do you really need to monitor anything? Isn't it his responsibility? Welcome to my YouTube channel where you really see content on data privacy. And in this video, we are going to talk about is it his responsibility, our responsibility, or a joint responsibility? Important, who is at major risk? So, is it just that you have signed an agreement and your responsibility is over? Your responsibility with your data principal is to ensure that you are taking care of his personal data. Now, whether you are processing it yourself or getting it outsourced does not matter. Ownership lies 100% with you. Therefore, it is very important that from time to time you see whether the outsourced people, even if it is within your organization, would you not check your processors and the team of processors again and again? You would. That's exactly is expected when it is outsourced. So, what are the key things that you need to be sure of? You should not rely on trust only. The first point that started off the video, that you cannot just simply say that I've signed a contract, I have documents with me. Yes, they can help you reduce the impact of breach. You can go to the regulator and show the documents. They might feel that they should not penalize you to a higher extent, but that does not get you off reputational damage. That does not get you off the scare that whether these principles are going to work with you again or not, right? So you need to make sure that you ensure that your vendor is compliant and not just documented. Focus on them and their sub-processors. So if they are further outsourcing it, you need to make sure that you have all the related agreements, which includes right to audit even the sub-processor. It cannot be that you outsource to one person, he outsources to the other person, and everyone is saying, okay, outsourcing done. None of us is responsible. No, it's your responsibility. Sub-processor audits, contracts, and assessments should be allowed. Then other key things that you need to be sure of is due diligence a one-time activity? No, it is not. Has to be done regularly, if not very frequently, at least once in a year. And if you think you are handling sensitive data, then maybe you can increase the frequency from once in a year to twice a year, maybe 4 times a year, every quarter, right? No breach reporting terms, well, then you are not even trying to be compliant, because breach reporting is one of the very important aspects of privacy compliance. Proper reporting has to be done, a mitigation strategy has to be created and followed. And it also helps retain some of the trust for future safety. Ignoring data deletion obligations. Is it fair? Definitely not. You cannot ignore data deletion obligations. You have to be available with proper documentation and tested processes that even the data deleted is not recoverable back from the disk where it was originally hosted. Right? So these are 5 very important things that you should regularly keep investigating, even if you're not doing full due diligence, but keep investigating, keep asking for logs and other things, artifacts, so that you know that the data is being handled properly. You should follow a sort of a monitoring checklist. Right? For example, annual assessment, high risk areas, as I mentioned earlier, maybe half yearly. Maybe if it is very sensitive, healthcare or financial, then maybe if you want, or if you see a risk of breach, do it quarterly. Maybe you do your due diligence today and create a plan which says that this is the risk and this is the way it is to be mitigated. Did you check it after a quarter? So when you are doing due diligence and documenting things and noting down the risk and gaps with mitigation strategy, you should follow it up also to ensure that it has been taken care of. What are the vendor security policies and have they changed since the last due diligence, or have they changed over a period of 3 months, 6 months, 1 year? You need to get into the details. Security threats keep coming. Maybe even the management people might keep changing, and then therefore you need to be cautious about how careful is the new management or the new management person. Vendor compliance, ask them for their own assessments. Ask them, have regulators done an assessment on them? Have they got a third party assessment done? And have those reports handy for your understanding as well as regulators' understanding. Breach notification, incident notification is a very, very important thing, has to be very, very carefully handled. And any change in subprocessor or geographies, if they say that I used to get this work outsourced to vendor A, and now I think I need to go to entropy. Well, actually, due diligence need to be repeated both for the organization as well as for the new subprocessor. It is also very important to understand why did we need to change it. What was the gap with the first vendor? If there were gaps were related to privacy and security, what action had we taken during the last due diligence? Or did we even completely miss out noticing anything in the due diligence we did last? Well, it's a huge time to reflect and review what are you doing, right? So be very, very careful. If it is only a matter of cost, then also you have to see that what's the volume of money you are going to save by changing processors, as changing processor is repeating a lot of activities which would have some cost associated. Due diligence involves some cost, right? So that's about managing and monitoring due diligence. One of the very critical aspects of due diligence also and privacy is deletion of the data. So deletion terms have to be there, and maybe while signing the contract, you put in the tool also which they are going to use for deletions, so that there is no gap. If there's a breach, no one should say, I told you I'll delete it properly and I thought that tool would help me do it. Right? You test the tool, you document it, maybe have some options and let the processor or subprocessor decide based on the budgets. Right? So be careful, follow checklists, and keep monitoring and managing the activities that happen on your processors and subprocessors. Remember, it's your responsibility, not their responsibility. I hope you liked the content of this video. If so, press the bell and the like icon, subscribe to my channel, and share your feedback in the comment section. Thank you.